bakamuha amafaranga 30 akagenda agatwaza itangaje b'abagore bari kubaki mwana w'umuhaye mujye then abona award yaje kuri igihembo Nobel Prize. But Muhammad Yunus was very good contributor. One chain. Atangiye kututu. Ogore bakazaka mu Rwanda nigeze guhura na one person from Grameen Bank in Hui. They also do that. Niwamenye nawo wabakorera ako bafite n'ikicaro tumba agenda bagafata association y'abagore bakabaha amafaranga bakagenda bagakora. They have that in Rwanda, the Grameen Bank, which is very important. It's very important. State intervention strategy in Singapore development yayo mwaza kubyumva abisobanura ndashaka kugira ngo tuyire muri slide vuba noneho dufate ati aho nyuma ati break cyangwa se twayita range tugaruke dukore analysis z'ibindi participation tudushoje intervention cyangwa se tubikore vuba then tubate muzi tujya mu
igitekerezo cyane gifasha abaturage ari umushomeri agira aho kwiga that should be like just ice breakers. Yeah, participation is very key. Yeah, for the learning sessions that are able to
so then after this you have your lunch.
Yeah, and
then you come back for
the other thing is after this waiting in the room to be okay. There is some people doing studies. Also, I would suggest, I don't know how the other thing that we can have all the sessions done, and I will take the tea as we go home. So,
okay.
That's my suggestion. I don't know how the other.
Because it came late.
It came late. This is still let's have a pause now. Yeah.
Break is in it.
Yes. And let's have a pause now. And when we come, we will look at this and look at Singapore as a case study. Yeah? But when we say, for instance, Rostov, yeah, this is a stage of development of Rostov. You see, the society needs to come out from traditional society to recondition for take off, to drive for maturity, and to higher mass consumption. And the problem we have is that we mix high mass consumption. High mass consumption. The person set up a supermarket. But who can afford to go to that supermarket? This is a big problem of affordability. So, to go back, we need smartphone, ICT, Industry 4. Industry 4. And yet we are not also with the stage of Industry 2 and 3. Yeah? But you have to combine both at a go. To make a telephone or tool in one. Okay, get access to phones, yeah? But also, we get access to Sky. No kukaumi. You see, since in Gombu, to the industry level 4, yeah? But we are still lacking also other industry level 3, 2, and 1. But how can you combine this in network? I don't know how to train people around.
Stages of Rostov.
Yes.
This is too materialistic.
Yes.
In the sense that Europe
Yeah.
thinks that has gone through those stages And therefore, all countries should go through all those stages.
Yes.
They were once traditional societies, then they went through these preparations for takeoff, maturity. Now they are mature, and the problem with it, they are telling us you should also go through the same process to reach that high mass consumption and graduation.
Yeah.
This is it's like it's a one way to reach the development, which is a little bit critical, which is of course just in the sense of modernizing the world. But let's be critical as well.
Yes.
What they are doing, and how we take and we develop. If you can read more literature on how Europe underdeveloped Africa, for instance, or the global south, how the global south or Africa has developed Europe.
Yeah.
We need to we should also think of growing. I'm not saying that we should not think of growing at our pace and know that one day we reach maturity.
But that is why I wrote here about developmentalist and post-developmentalist. Then what is developmentalist? Is job.
Well, I was going to add to what I said. Umuhanga cyane kuko uribaza umugani watubwira step ese yo muri context zimwe iyo bavuga ni class usanga bashaka kuba copy paste byo mu Faransa ndetse hano mu Rwanda aho ahantu geographical hatandukanye dakaricha zawe different and whatever usanga wenda icyo nemera cyo hari uburyo ushobora kuba warakize nakwigiraho best practices bikaba nanjye byamfasha wenda nuko nabikora mu buryo bwanjye muri context yanjye bitewe na situation condition and circumstances ngira ngo za social political and economic.
You are right. Indeed, icyo bishatse kuvuga usomye nka pepa twandikira self-sufficient samo you right I encourage you to read it. Uzasanga fit approach ebyiri dufite approach ebyiri developmentalism and post-developmentalism. Exactly that is what Dr. Charles was mentioning. Some of the writers, especially Latin America, now very interested ni gute tutakoresha natwe inzira iri mixed. In your model, we are developing this model based on those existing two approach to build self-sufficiency.
It's like a homegrown solution, homegrown initiative.
Exactly. Exactly.
Our local associations.
No kuwaka bivugaho nka Kigali Convention Center. Yubatse mu buryo bw'inzu y'ibyatsi.
Exactly.
Icyo nicyo twita
Agaciro Development Fund.
Icyo nicyo twita post-mortem. Exactly.
To support our budget.
Exactly. You won't bring anything to download your paper, you read it. Sinabisobanura byose none. Ariko ushobora kubaka inzu imeze nk'ibyatsi kukayiha ibyuma bikomeye na materiel cya iyo ni mindset dushaka gukuramo cyo bita decolonization of our mind. Uziko abagore batari bazi ko ikijumba n'imboga, the potatoes and vegetables can alleviate poverty quadruple. Abantu bari badashobora kubijumba cheap cyangwa se batanabigura mu isoko kuko bihendutse. Iyo tuzarebe mu mujyi birahenze cyane.
Niyo myumvire kw'ibijumba ari iby'abakene.
Yes. Ku buryo n'umusore adashobora kugenda ngo arangure ibijumba mu byaro bizane kandi abizana mu mujyi double price. Kubera iki? Kubera ko mu mujyi baza agaciro kabyo kurusha mu cyaro. Mindset nuko bikora. Exactly that. So ni gute twahindura imyumvire. How can we change our mind? That's so good. Noneho byabaye ngombwa ko ababikira, nuns, priests, whatever educated person batangira kujya mu byaro. In the 1990s, we have a big number of kwashoko guys. Then people started to think, how can we help people? Muri gute twazamura abagore bakabasha guteka ibiryo byuzuye kandi bakoresheje ibyo twizeye.
Umwandiko twakoze mu Gifaransa n'imata n'Icyongereza aravuga ngo Asia ibihugu bikenewe bigira ziriya ndwara z'imirire za bwaki kwashira ariko bafite ibiryo bikeya. Ariko mu Afurika cyane cyane East Africa ko tugira ziriya ndwara za kwashira koromarazime kubera tudafite ibiryo byo turabifite ariko ntidufite ubumenyi ku mivire uburyo twabivanga ikamenya ibyo twakora rimwe na rimwe bikanashingira no ku muco w'umutikano y'ibijumba ryeke bishyimbo ibyo byihuta babongerekaho n'ibisusa n'iki cyangwa ubumenyi kuba ufite uti ibi ni ibirinda indwara ibi ni ibitera imbaraga byose birakenewe.
Ibisusa urabizi?
Umushogoro.
Ibisusa urabizi? Umushogoro urabizi? Ariko ibisusa ntabwo
Dr. Ikiranga umwana mu Kigali umubwira inkoko ntaba yizi cyangwa intara ati intara se burasa umujyi wa Kigali n'intara y'Iburasirazuba urabe mu Kigali
barakora kubyita urutabo ushobora gusanga n'intara n'intara
none se muhirwa ubututu urabuze
nawe mu Kigali ufite n'intungamubiri nyinshi
imboga zayo
inzuzi se zurazizi.
So those are values we need to do. Kandi nta kintu kera neza kandi vuba nk'inzuzi. Ikintu kera neza kandi vuba nk'inzuzi. So how can we develop? Ni nayo mpamvu mu mijyi imwe n'imwe batangiye kuvuga ngo how can we embed agriculture in the city? Urugo kugira ngo rutere uruyuzi ni ibintu byoroshye. Ufata kinini ugashyiramo uruyuzi ubundi rukazaranda muri gari.
So sorry, I have been talkative.
No.
It's adding value to the workshop. But what I wanted to say, now one babajije mu kubera iki mu gupfumura ibihe cyangwa gupfuma babyitaga gutera inzuzi. Usanga nta wabidusubiza ariko buriya nicyo nashaka kuvuga uruyuzi ruri mu mbuto nyarwanda. Twaba dufite amasaka dufite ibihaza uruyuzi kandi rwera vuba ugatanga n'ingufu nayo ituma buriya mu mbuto nyarwanda nyine kuba uruyuzi rwa rurimo niyo uragusa kugira ngo barebe ibihe batera inzuzi.
Okay, then we mix this approach, Doctor. That's the approach we use, both. And then, because this focus on industrialization and whatever, but this focus on our homegrown solutions.
I really need more, this is voluntarism and voluntarism.
Tell Lisa to come for short minutes, we need to wrap up. Or we go for tea after you.
There is actually like three approaches. One is developmentalism, the mainstream development, using this roster, what's the stage of development. We should go through these stages and reach. I don't know for ranking, middle income, the monetary approach needs.
Exactly.
Don't know how is it, what I would call alternative development. Which is this like participatory development, sustainable development, and so on and so forth. So these are the development approaches which help people to participate.
Exactly.
Because component environmentalism.
Exactly.
Modernizing. When the post-development brings in alternative to development.
Alternative.
To development. And there was other concepts like Ubuntu, Ubudehe, how do we call it? Tanzania water. Water. This is Tanzanian, how is it called? There was an association Ujama. Thank you.
Very good.
Ujama.
Very good.
He has written books in the 60s.
Yes.
I know the core concept of community development and so on. Don't know abantu bakorere hamwe, abantu initiative turi local. Natwe local concepts zacu zivuga ngo homegrown solutions. Bijya list tubona yose homegrown solutions. Zivuga ibyo mushyikirano gatsubiye no pafusu. Umushyikirano, ubwiherero, biriya biri local. Bring people together, bakabaza ibibazo, bagahura
n'ibiki byose.
Noneho n'abaturage rero nabo, people themselves initiate program, initiate strategies that will help us to develop at our own pace, but make sure that we reach somewhere. Without comparing, whatever. I've said I've been working for many years, income-wise, harahohagaze. Ariko ubu bafite watuma uyu utaratangira mwita kugira ngo ugere icyo ushaka.
Exactly.
Which is the problem of government. Kubera ko ndi kompara nawe muzungu nkabona babiri yagezeho ntabwo nayagezeho salary yari impagije nashobora kuba satisfied aho muri ya reduce that quality nkaba ndi gusharinga nawe guhabona agashora akabona hatangirira ariko ntabwo nabikora aho muri ufite ngira gute naza mbonye uburyo nkora ku buryo kagataka uzuvuga kugura ntabwo ko bacyashoboka aguhereza kategereza banki igiye kuguteza kaza kaguha bacyashoboka uburyo naho ngiye nariza nkajya kukagurisha nduje kakungukamo more than double.
But that's
You understand? How we don't let it tell you. Kubera ko ufite umuntu kugira ngo mbere nka wawe umuntu ugende wari.
Njye ndashaka guca mu ijambo kivuga bya Buryohe. Ndashaka kuvuga ko kandi wavugaga bya Tanzania bya Nyerere bijya. Buriya biri muri kuza ya socialism. Nibyo wavugaga ngo haramugeza kurusha kumurika. Ya capitalism sauvage.
Exactly. Capitalism sauvage. No, capitalism sauvage. Ariyo post-developmentalism ni wine. If you have managed to read what post-developmentalism, it's against two things. Capitalism sauvage, capitalism, and colonialism, new colonialism. Aho muzungu barashushanya mu kugira independence ya AI. What is happening?
So everybody can stand up now and do this. Listen, we come manage the situation of support a little bit, and you continue in the case of Singapore. We just need 10 minutes.
Okay, do like this. Do like this. Like this. Like this. Okay, thank you. Sit down.
Thank you. We can continue in the case of Singapore. Just 10 minutes.
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to introduce myself, even though my name is displayed here, but it's better that I introduce myself to you. My name is Pizera Issa. I'm working here as a team leader. So, first of all, I thank you again for your attendance and attention. I take this time also to thank Dr. Emmanuel for his time and dedication to this session. It was very, very fascinating. So, what I can tell you now, by living in this world, we live by learning. Learning from experiences, learning from models. So, Singapore is one of the world's models in terms of welfare, in terms of economic growth, socio-economic growth, and so on. So the case of Singapore can not only be benefited by groups of people, but individuals can also get lessons from the case of Singapore. So I want to, that's why I have decided to choose it so that we can take a lesson from it, as this lesson is expected to be for learning. So this is just a brief introduction about the country. The Republic of Singapore is a city-state made up of a few islands on the tip of Peninsula Malaysia. So it's in Asia, and it's not a single country. It's an island. It's a composite of islands. It's expected to be 64 islands. It's not a single country like how Rwanda is one country. No, it's islands, many islands. So the main island of Singapore with GPS coordinate with they are giving us numbers and the kilometers that it has. And they have also given us the population. They have 5.61 million people. And they have also given us that Singapore's citizens are made up of 3.9 people. And permanent residents are about 1.6 million. There are also many foreigners who are running there, because I have told you that it is developed in many sectors, in education, in welfare. So that's why we have decided to give it to you as a model. So just to tell you a little brief about it, Singapore and Malaysia were once the same country. You may ask yourself, what happened that led to its separation? Before, one main reason is economic differences. Singapore was very low. Poverty, no clean lights. So I think for those who tend to attend the workshop here, Dr. Muhammad tends to give it as a model also. So Malaysia decided to cut itself from Singapore because of two issues, like I said, economic differences and the political issues. So when they saw that Singapore, it was like a state, you know, some countries are divided of states. Like when you go to Nigeria, you will find Abuja, Lagos, Kano, those are the states within one country. So it was also like one state of Malaysia. So they suggested that Singapore can be its own country and separate itself from Malaysia, because poverty was there, not good weather, no good climate. So I hope you feel the difference. So they said, no, they are giving us bad reputation. Let's cut ourselves from them. And then it started like that.
That's Malaysia that decided it.
Yeah, it's Malaysia which decided.
Yeah.
But now, Singapore is far better than Malaysia. That's why I told you. Not only societies can draw an example from this, but individuals can also draw a lesson from what happened between those two countries. So this rejection serves as a catalyst of resilience of Singapore.
Wow.
They started to be resilient. They didn't start thinking, oh, we have been rejected, we have nothing to do. They found solutions within themselves. To the point, even today, Singapore today is one of the best performing country in many sectors, like I said before.
Rwanda is the Singapore of Africa.
Yeah, that's how they tend to tell us, because they also see our resilience. Some people say it jokingly, others say it seriously, but they are trying to compare ourselves with them because they see our progress, they see ourselves, where we came from, and where we are now. It's what made them call us like that. So this is what just a brief history I can give you about Singapore. So they are also telling us that population and economy as resource constraints. So by changing Singapore, it was not only done by the people, by leaders, by the president, by what? It was done by people collectively. People put together. So the change and the mindset, or the mind of the people, when also contributed to bring where the Singapore is now. So you see, they didn't have too many resources, but their ideas, their thinking, in problem solving is what made them what they have today. The intraport trade is not expanding fast enough to provide the jobs for increasing population. So they are also telling us where what they're trying to show us where this country is taking, what is helping it to be resilient. The government plays a key role in social welfare provision, you see. Even though we people work, but we also sometimes need the government's aids. Yeah, and its intervention is highly recommended in development. We can be models, which is we people can be models, and then the government supports us. But there is also a contribution that is required for the government to the development of the social welfare or any other field within the state. Contrary to popular opinion, Singapore has accepted from that the government has a responsibility to provide social welfare. I think it's not only in Singapore, just in many other countries. You see, even our government has established many initiatives, many schemes which are aimed at developing welfare of the people. As you see, for example, in this country, a breastfeeding mother who is in the lowest socio-economic category is given some money. I think here in Kigali it's not. Suppose in the village they are given some amount of money to help them give nutrients to solve malnutrition problems and so on. So the government of Singapore was also doing the same thing even today, of course. So to help its people to give a good impact, positive impacts in the lives of the people. So, social welfare, however, is not viewed as a goal that should be partially independently of the constraints placed by the market and economic reality. Hence, the development of what some call productivity model of social welfare, where social welfare is promoted through the investment in society and the economy necessary to promote economic growth. So they are here trying to tell us that in this point, Singapore, even though it had those calamities, I've tried my best to introduce why we have chosen it as a model. The uploads. It's not all about improving social welfare of the country, but in the other fields, what they produce, how does it impact the economy of the country, the lives of the population. So, our founder gave us an example in one of the dialogue. He told us that in India, who is working in the Middle East, he is being paid, but he can never be paid the same amount of a Singaporean who is also working in this, even if though they do the same job. Why? Because those people, they are well educated. They have been given, they are made, or they are given a culture of professionalism. They are very professionals. Despite being rejected, despite their historical background, they have built themselves vastly and made and reached their legacy. Even in America, they get professors from Singapore, which can be a good lesson from all of us. So, by saying that they have been also given what is the social welfare spending. So it's better that we know all about social welfare. What is welfare? If I ask you what is welfare, what can you respond? Who can really give me an answer?
In Rwanda or English?
Any
Any language you can use.
English better.
So for me, I have seen area you have drought, mass of needs. For me, welfare is when a citizen can get his or her needs. His needs, primary needs, food and water and whatever. And participation in the community, education, water and sanitation. So when at least you get the basic needs for a good, for living, his full rights and freedoms.
Yes, yes. So what is the quality of welfare? What does characterize to the place that there is a welfare?
Or what are the indicators?
Yes, indicators of welfare in the area.
So the problem is that I'm going to go with this, like, let me say, Western development indicators. No problem. Kandi rimwe na rimwe sinzikunda. Ariko wenda nubwo hari n'ibyo bavuga ngo GDP izafaka, ariko wenda kimwe ku muturage ese yinjiza angahe ku mwaka cyangwa ukwezi, ese ayo ngayo yinjiza cyangwa se nimba n'ibyo yahinze bivamo amafaranga angahe ugiye, ese ayo mafaranga bivamo ku mwaka cyangwa se ku kwezi ashobora kubonamo wenda kujya ku isoko agahaha akabona ibiryo, akabona ibyo kunywa, ashobora nimba ari family twebwe iwacu mu cyaro mu Bugesera yakishyura umwana w'ishuri, yamuvuza, yamugurira imyenda, ndavuga we yakigura imyenda akagura umugore we n'abana be nimba ari umugabo. So iyo ni indicate imwe, ariko indi indicate njyewe, it's not to exclude happiness, ariko is he or she happy? Happiness also is an indicator.
Exactly.
Yeah, kuko iyo umuntu atari happy, ushobora no kugira GDP hejuru, ariko at the end
No, even there is global indicators of happiness.
Yeah, like nk'iyo nka happiness index usanga nka Western countries, UK, USA, biri hasi bijyanye na Scandinavian countries, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, n'iki. So kuko kuba happy nabyo binashingira ku muco, usanga biriya no gukora ko umwana bamwigishije bati community niyo ya mbere, we kugira amafaranga menshi, iki n'iki mugenzi wawe nta mafaranga afite araba perezida n'iyibi. Ariko twebwe nugera mu mwanya wa minisitiri ugeze hano i Kigali ufite ibiceri 300 ugire miliyari mu mwaka umwe, usange ntibinashoboka. Ariko hariya unakeneye kwiba yumva ko nyine bafite ubuzima, wenda banabigezeho ibyo bageraho, nta gifite iyo nzara n'ifemba n'iki. Ariko twebwe ikibazo uzasanga ku rwego rw'ibyo twakoze, niyo wagira miliyari n'aho hari wagira ibintu byo ku isi yose, uzifuza n'ibyo kuri Mars n'ibyo kuri Jupiter. So happiness also is a good indicator. Hari umuntu wambwiraga ngo Canada ntabwo bakingaga cyangwa ingufuri, ngo babikoze tugira international volunteers, ngo baguze ingufuri no gukinga nuko abirabura bageze Canada. Ndabaza kubera ngo basiga gukinga bakakwiba, cyangwa twebwe ubundi bintu byo umuntu yaza kwiba.